Hello. Happy Thinky Thursday, one and all. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a marvellous day. Today we are working on Lucien's Beyond Skyrim Bruma Patch, which we've been working on for the last few streams. And this time we're doing voice acting for it. Because we've implemented dialogue for the main quest, or the main quests for Bruma. And we've implemented some sort of general dialogue for locational stuff. And we've done the Blades side quest. So we've done a few things there. There's obviously a lot more that I'd still like to add, but in the interest of releasing something sooner rather than later, I think we're going to go ahead and record this lot, and this can be enough for a version 1.0 of the patch, and then we'll flesh it out later on with further stuff until we've covered all the content in Bruma, probably over the course of 2 or maybe 3 releases. So that's the general gist. So yeah, today we're recording. We'll be doing that in Cubase and with the creation kit. And we're going to need our pop filter, of course, to do that. I have to get that out the drawer. Somewhere around here. Might have to hunt for that for a second. And I just need to get the resolution down to what it needs to be in Summon Tiny Lucien and everything. Get it all good to go for the stream. But I like audio recording streams. The voice acting streams are always fun. Sorry, I can't say words today. That's going to be a problem with recording unless I rapidly learn how to say words. But yeah, you guys are always very good directors for my audio recording. You can tell me whether I've done a good take or not. And I can ignore you. And it's all good fun. Right. Close that down. Hello, Rogue Samurai 76. I am making mods for Skyrim. So that's why we're in the Skyrim category. I'm specifically working on my Lucien mod. That's why the title says Lucien Follower Mod Development. Because that's my mod. That's my thing. Nope, not writing any scripts. We are voice acting today. Hello, Andoran. Thank you so much for buying my book. I really hope you enjoy it. Quick request while I've got you here. If you do like the book, please consider, because I'd be really very grateful if you could think about potentially leaving me a review, either on Amazon or Goodreads or both. I'd really appreciate that, just if you get like 5 minutes after you finish reading it. That'll make a massive difference to supporting me and everything. So yeah. Hi, Ring Traeger. Welcome to the stream. Hello. Right, so we're going to want screen capture. Oh, I want screen with camera. Hang on. There we go. Whee! Infinite Josephs. Ah, we've got the flickering render window. Apologies for that. See, it's awful. It's really frustrating that still hasn't been fixed. It's a render issue. Hang on, I'll put the camera back on while I sort that, so it's not flashing on the screen. Oh, and the CK crashed. Anyway, that's a smashing start. Dum dum da 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 da. Apologies for that. I will cut the bit with the flickery screen from the VOD if anyone wants to rewatch, because it's really problematic having that happen. But anyway, we don't need the render window at the moment. So we're going to go back to screen with camera. And this time it's going to be fine. So we want to open up the Bruma Patch. So if we get Lucien's Bruma Patch.esp here, version 1.6.3. How did I create the model for Lucien? Okay, so you do that in the race menu. Just normally when you create a character, you create I made Lucien's face using the normal character creation tool. And then there's a console command, I think. Well, someone else can probably correct me, but I think it's something like SPF to export the face. And it exports it as a little file that you can then import into the CK. Nuna says SPF. Yeah, great. SPF Lucien or whatever, and export that. So it exports the race file and you can just import it into your NPC record. So I made a sort of early version. And then Nibberino was kind enough to sort of give it a second pass, went over it and improved it quite a lot, because I don't really know about face things. The art side of things isn't my area, to be honest. So so that's how that was done. No issues with, well, I use Streamlabs OBS, which is very different to normal OBS. But I haven't had any issues with it, no. But you're right, Cozy, it is on brand with the CK. How are you doing, by the way, Cozy? Been a little while. What's going on with you? I'm pretty sure I still owe you a lesson, by the way. Drop me a DM if you'd like to organize that. But yeah, okay, so let's just take a quick look, a little recap as to what we've got before we record anything. So we've got stuff for Bruma, the city. Got a whole bunch of lines. We've got stuff for the Ayleid ruins. We've got stuff for Cloud Ruler Temple. We've got stuff for Frostcrag Spire. Not tons for that, but a little bit. We didn't go into doing the full quest dialogue for this, but we did a little bit of side stuff. And we've also got the main quest stuff, which leads to a couple of conversations with Lucien. So there we go. Quite a bit of stuff to work with there. But before we can do any of that, I do actually need to close the CK again, because I did this in the wrong order, because we need to use SSE edit in order to compress the form IDs so that this can be ESLified. So I'm going to close the CK. We're going to go to the Bruma Patch. Thank you for the follow, Rogue Samurai. So we need to renumber the form IDs because you'll see all these errors going on. Everything's got an error. It's just one of those things when you have an ESL flagged ESP. So we're going to renumber all the form IDs from 800, which we can do because we haven't recorded any dialogue yet. But you know what? Before I actually do that, I'm going to back it up. Just in case. I don't know why I'm suddenly doubting myself, but I'm suddenly just hesitating for a second because we've worked on this for a long, long time. So I think it's worth just making a quick copy of the file. Just in case. Always back up, as Nuna says. Right, anyway, we can get back to this now. Hey, Cthulhu, welcome to the stream, and thank you so much for the sub, Pepson. Very kind of you. Anyway, we'll go ahead and renumber these form IDs now. So you can see they are now 801, 816. They're all renumbered. And there shouldn't be any errors now if we save this. Now, I do notice we've got some world space changes. If we look here, and we didn't want those. Shouldn't be happening. And that is because we did some get distance checks in the conditions. And when you do a get distance check in the conditions, it actually changes the target of that check to persistent. And we don't want that because we've done a workaround instead. We say, is the distance greater than 0? And then we say, is it less than whatever? And that makes sure it's loaded. So we don't need it to be flagged as persistent. And we also have here just some general... so this is a wild edit, an edit we didn't mean to make. And we also have a couple of dirty edits where nothing actually changes. Or here, actually, it has changed the location reference. So these are things we obviously clicked on, but didn't do anything to. So we're going to get rid of all of these just by clicking on world space and hitting delete. And that's tidied that up. Lovely. Lovely? That's not a sentence. That's not words. That's tidied that up beautifully. Anyway, it's saying there's an error. Now, we renumbered all the form IDs, so there shouldn't still be an error. But it says this record has invalid object ID for a light module. That's very weird. Why is that happening? Record ID FEE00081C. So this is under the Bruma main quest idols. For some reason, it's not happy with that. Why are you not happy with that? I can manually try changing it to 867. It's not happy with any of them. This normally works. Let's have an investigate. Shout out from Cthulhu to Joseph, that's me, for never ceasing to bring a smile to my face every time I hear Lucien say Cthulhu, especially after struggling with Skyrim update madness. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. Normally, renumbering the form IDs does the job. What if I tell it to just do it again? Renumber all the form IDs from 800. Yes. Go again. Now save. No, it's still not happy with it. That's so bizarre. Hey, Sacrilegious, welcome to the stream. Just trying to figure out what's going on here with my Bruma patch. Good job I backed it up. Why is it not happy? We have the ESL flag. We have the ESP. We've renumbered all the form IDs so they're all nice and low. And normally if we just hit save, that then works. But this time, for whatever reason, it isn't behaving. There's invalid object ID 02981B for a light module. Let's look at it again. So this is under Adius. Adius deserved it. So strange. Because that's the old object ID, but this would normally update. Renumbering it manually fixed the other one. But it keeps just picking a new one. See, it doesn't like that line. Let's just close. It's not a very elegant solution, but let's close SSE edit and just try it again. Just have another go at it. See if just closing and opening it is enough to give it a go. Oh, you've got one-handed crossbows working with NPCs. That's really cool. Nice work. So you can dual wield crossbows. That's awesome. Right, let's delete the world space edits because we don't want those. And renumber the form IDs from 800. And save. Nah, you're not doing it. Okay, let's try another method. Hey, Marine Verdancy, welcome to the stream. I hope you're very well. What if I go... What if we go apply script? And instead we try... I'm just trying things here. Because isn't there a script for compress form IDs? I thought there's one specifically for the purpose of ESLifying, but I'm not seeing that. I'm just finding this really baffling. Errors have occurred in Xedit according to my messages tab, when several records have identical form IDs. I'm looking. I'm not seeing any errors happening in the form ID renumbering process. The only error I'm seeing is the one at the bottom, which is the one saying that it's an invalid ID for the Relite module. Unless you're saying that that particular error message can also come up when they have identical numbers. I don't know why it would have given them identical numbers. Because the whole point of renumbering them all from 800 is to not do that. Thank you so much for the sub, Miskatonic. That's really kind of you. Anyway, yes, congratulations on getting married, Marine Verdancy. That's very exciting. I can't see any 2 ones with the same ID. Oh, and another sub, Miskatonic. Thank you so much. $847. Which is the one, the main quest idol thing. They've all been given new IDs because they've all renumbered. Yeah, I guess I'll have to look at using a third-party script for it. It's just this always works. You know? It's just really weird that this doesn't work anymore. Because this is what I always do for this process. It's so strange. Because SSE edit hasn't changed, has it? So strange. Oh well. I guess we can try doing it a third-party way, sure. Right, let's have a look on the Nexus, see if I can find the script. Thanks, Sakura. Let me give it a go. Five, 6, 3, 9, 6. That's going to bother me for ages. Yeah, no, I don't use Mod Organizer 2. I use Vortex. But I don't have any voice files to rename because we haven't recorded anything yet. I just want to renumber the form IDs. Right, let's try downloading the script. To be fair, we would have needed a third-party tool for this sort of thing later on when we come to do the version 2 of the mod. But I don't like my workflow being messed with like this. Right. Put the script in the edit scripts folder. Apply script. Select the ESPFE follower script. Sure, okay. Let me put you back onto screen with camera. We're going to close this without saving. Open up the Bruma Patch. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Right, let's try the script. Apply script. And it's underscore ESPFE follower. See, it says no unsaved changes. So that hasn't done the job at all. Unless I remove the ESL flag and then run that. What? This is definitely a thinkier Thursday than our last few Thursdays. Hello, very classy demons. So what you've walked in on is me trying to figure out why I'm struggling to update the form IDs on my ESL flagged ESP, which is how I've done all the patches prior to this. All the Creation Club plugins, all the everything. I've done it all this way. And it's never been a problem before now. Well, the one thing I'm doing that's different is I'm deleting the world space records. So maybe what if I try just not doing that? What if I try renumbering the form IDs and then just hitting save before I do anything else? I don't remember that box coming up. No, it's not doing it. What if I remove the ESL flag and then I save and then I put it back? Okay, so that's saved. Now I renumber the IDs. Okay, it's happy with them as they are. What if I now put the flag back on? And then I save. Errors, not happy. Oh, is that a hydrate request? I shall hydrate. Thank you for the follow, Hellbilly Crow. No, this is actually nothing to do with the creation kit. We're working exclusively in SSE Edit at the moment. Oh, you're enjoying watching me struggle, are you? I'm thrilled to hear it. Thank you for the support. Why are you not working? I will fix this. I will not be beaten. Okay. What if I remove the ESL flag? I save. File has not changed. Remove it. Okay, I close it. I reopen. I reopen Bruma. We look at it now. It's come up with the number 9 record. Fine. And then... oh, there we go. Compact form IDs for ESL. Do that. Save that. Go to file header. Record flag. Let's re-add the ESL flag. Then save. We did the thing. I can't quite remember what we needed to do the thing. And I'm not sure why it worked. But we did the thing. Yeah. Hello, Ninja. Welcome to the stream. What is your question? Fire away. Very exciting to have a Ninja modding question. Oh, I'm so pleased this has worked. No errors. Let's try... well, I say that. Let's try closing and opening it again just to check. Lucien Bruma Patch. If it loads as an ESL, are there errors? I'm not seeing any errors. Seems good. Seems good. It's good. Let's open it in the CK and see what happens. Anyway, what's your question, Ninja? Fire away. Fire away, fire away. Yip-ba-ba-ba, yip-ba-ba-ba. How does one resize unresizable windows in the CK? I'm really sorry the one time you've come to the stream with a CK question. I don't know. I'm sorry. Unresizable windows. One thing I can say is if you're messing with the ini files, don't be anxious about it. Because anything you change in the ini, you can put back. What I would suggest doing is copying either taking the whole ini file and copying it somewhere else so you can paste it back in, or just copying, highlighting the contents of the ini file and pasting it into Word or something, or into a notepad, so that then you can put it back. Because you can't do any harm to your CK by editing the ini so long as you put it back again afterwards. So maybe give that a go and see how you get on. But I'm sorry, I've never had to do that myself, so I don't actually know. Useless, I know. I'm sorry you're having trouble, very classy demon. I haven't actually played Skyrim since the latest update. I haven't even tried. So it's not affected me. And I'm hoping we won't need to do any testing or anything until after everything's all been figured out. Thank you so much for the sub, Nuna. Very kind of you. Bruma is progressing very well, thank you, Ego Cat. I hope you're doing well. So, we have done the core stuff I wanted to do. So we've done all the stuff I wanted to do for version 1. We started in the follower tutorial and found that after making quest stuff in part 2, the bottom of the reference alias type window was inaccessible. I had to do crazy shift tabbing to press OK. How annoying. What resolution is your screen? Are you on 720p? Because that's why it might be popping off the bottom. But yeah, not tons you can do about that apart from to get a bigger screen. But no, maybe there must be an ini tweak to fix that. Oh, you're on a telly. Maybe there's like a scaling thing going on. Excuse me. Maybe there's scaling factor that's automatically running with you plugged into the TV. You could have a look at that. Like whether it's trying to zoom in. Or sometimes TV screens cut off like a border around the edge of your monitor output. 1360 by 768. Yes, that's quite a non-standard resolution. So that could also explain it. But it might be that it is accessible. It's just off the bottom of your screen. No monitor is out and there's no cutoff. In that case, I don't know. But yeah, that is quite a small resolution. Will it let you increase the res? Or is that just the res of your TV? Because that's a surprising TV resolution. You know, normally they're like either 720 or 1080. 768 is quite unusual. So if it has an option to let you increase it, that might help. Give you a bit more screen real estate. Oh, you could give it a go, but otherwise, yeah, maybe there's something in the ini you can change. Anyway, let's do some recording. So, Lucien Bruma. Here's our first line. Here is Cubase, my recording software. Let's bin all this audio that we recorded before, because that was when it was an old file. And I'm just going to do a quick test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a test file to see whether I get the audio dropout error that sometimes plagues us on these streams. Testing. I'm still testing. We're going to see what happens. Test. Zippity doodah, zippity day. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. I said a hip, the hop, the hippie to the hip, hip, hoppy. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang, boogie, say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boo, the beat. She sells seashells on the seashore. Round and round the ragged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. Hello, my name's Joe, and I work in a button factory. One day my boss said to me, "Are you busy, Joe?" I said no, so he said, "Push this button with your right hand." Looks like there's a tiny bit of audio hum. But it's very small. Let me put the headphones on. We'll have a listen back. Test. Test. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing. No, if there's hum, then that's it's negligible. That might just be, that little line we're seeing might just be my computer fan noise. It's very small. Yeah, I think it's just picking up some background fans, some general room sound. I have never tried Redcap. I don't even know what it is. What is Redcap? It sounds like a Reekling. Is it a Reekling? Hello, Rin Moran. Welcome to the stream. Okay, right. I'm going to get warmed up into Lucien mode. So, got to get myself into the right tone of voice for him. And I also... Oh, hang on. I need to grab the... whatchamacallit? Pop filter. I think I've got in one of these drawers. Here we are. I love this desk. I can actually attach the pop filter onto this desk easily, unlike in the old flat where I had to attach it onto a drawer in a really haphazard fashion. Hey Shoykun, welcome to the stream. There we go, and I just need to screw that in so it's nice and tight. Here we go. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's warm up. Hello there, my name is Lucien Flavius. I'm a scientist, philosopher, amateur wizard, and something musician, though I suppose that's more of a hobby, really. Marvellous, I say, goodness me, golly, my word, hello there. Ah! Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, Lucien mode, Lucien Flavius, hello. I'm a scientist, philosopher, amateur wizard, and something of a musician. I know a few spells and can just about swing a sword, but beyond that, I'm pretty useless in combat. Now, one of the things we have to bear in mind while we're recording Lucien lines these days is to make sure we don't go too far into the caricatured version of Lucien that we started to drift towards with some of the CC patches. One finds it naturally evolves over time and becomes a little bit more like this, which we don't want it to do. We want to keep a lid on it a little bit, make sure it doesn't go too squeaky, make it sound realistic and grounded while still being distinctly Lucien. So it's coming forward into the front of my mouth rather than the back of the throat. It's very test. It's clenched, it's tight, it's like it's all very tense when he's talking. He's always got a lot of thoughts going on. He's got a bit of frazzled brain, things happening, lots of thoughts happening. He's like, oh gosh, goodness, there's quite high energy for a lot of the lines, quite high energy. The energy was lower in some of those first lines we recorded, but I prefer Lucien with higher energy. Not necessarily crazy, kind of over the top, but when he's tense. Okay, right, here we go. Hello there, my name is Lucien Flavius. Hello. Right, I think we're ready. This will sound hilarious to anyone who can hear me recording this right now. Out the way, tiny Lucien. Let's have a go. Thank you so much for the sub, Ring Traeger. Right, okay. I passed through Bruma on my... No, that was too high. You see? We went way too high to start with. I passed through Bruma on my way to Skyrim. I'd actually fallen asleep in the cart, so I missed it, but the driver told me it was lovely. We'll do one more take. I passed through Bruma on my way to Skyrim. I'd actually fallen asleep in the cart, so I missed it, but the driver told me it was lovely. Let's go one more. I passed through Bruma on my way to Skyrim. I'd actually fallen asleep in the cart, so I missed it, but the driver told me it was lovely. I think one of those takes is probably good. Happy so far? Let's make sure it's still recording. It looked like it stopped there. No, we're still good. The earliest reference to Bruma I've seen dates back to the 12th century of the First Era, which makes it over 3,000 years old. So much history. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, this is a wordy one. Let's just test the Leovic. Leovic or Leovic? What do we think? Hang on, I'm going to pause the recording while we figure out what we want to say with this. The Emperor Leovic or the Emperor Leovic? Let's do a little vote. Leovic or Leovic? Have a vote. Tell me which way you think I should say it. Poll has started. And then while you're thinking about that, while you're voting on that, the next one we need to think about is Duke Varen Aquilarius. Varen? I'm assuming we're saying Varen and not Varen. Or Varen. I think that's pretty... I want to say Varen. Varen Aquilarius. Okay. Oh, it's quite tense between that. Oh, Varen? Varen. People are saying Varen. You get that in ESO. Oh, hey, Blue. Welcome to the stream. More people going for Leovic than Leovic. So we'll probably go that way. But, so Varen Aquilarius. And then this word. This is one of the words I've seen written down but never heard said out loud. There's a poll happening right now to vote in for Leovic. Still running. We've got 8 votes for Leovic and 5 for Leovic. So here we are. So Chorrel or Coral? Coral. Okay, people are saying Coral. So are we all in agreement then? That we've got... Yeah, so we're going for... So the poll came back in favour heavily of Leovic. So just to be clear, we're going to say when the Emperor Leovic legalised Daedra worship throughout Cyrodiil, back in the Second Era, Duke Varen Aquilarius of Coral led his rebellion from there. What I'll do as well is I'll skim over Leovic. When the Emperor Leovic legalised Daedra worship, when the Emperor Leovic legalised Daedra worship throughout Cyrodiil back in the Second Era, Duke Varen Aquilarius of Coral led his rebellion from here. He might well have stood in this very spot. It's so exciting! In this very spot! The Emperor Leovic, or maybe Leovic. Anyway. Cool. And if it's wrong, we can always just say Lucien got it wrong. He doesn't have to be perfect with everything. When the Emperor Leovic of... Bippity-boppity-boo. Woo! When the Emperor Leovic legalised Daedra worship throughout Cyrodiil back in the Second Era, Duke Varen Aquilarius of Coral led his rebellion from here. He might well have stood in this very spot. Thrilling! One more take. When the Emperor Leovic legalised Daedra worship throughout Cyrodiil back in the Second Era, Duke Varen Aquilarius of Coral led his rebellion from here. He might well have stood in this very spot. Thrilling! Now I said Varen. We said it was going to be Varen, didn't we? Varen Aquilarius. But I said Varen then. We'll do one more. When the Emperor Leovic legalized Daedra worship throughout Cyrodiil back in the Second Era, Duke Varen Aquilarius of Coral led his rebellion from here. He might well have stood in this very spot. Thrilling! First one. We're going with the first take. We'll use the first take. Anyway. We'll move on from there. Oh, my brain still says tree bucket when I see that word written down. Thank you so much for the bits, Wild Wolf Man. Okay, let's try this one. I've heard so much about Bruma. Molag Bal once loved it so much he tried to steal it. He opened one of his dark anchors above the city as part of the plain meld. The people fought him off in the end, though. Silly Molag Bal. Quite like that take. I'll do one more. I've heard so much about Bruma. Molag Bal once loved it so much he tried to steal it. He opened one of his dark anchors above the city as part of the plain meld. The people fought him off in the end, though. Silly Molag Bal. That's pretty good. Silly, silly Molag Bal. There's our audio dropout. It does happen from time to time. I hate it. Might need a new mic. Test, 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 test. Audio dropout, audio dropout. Hello, hello, hello. It did manage to run for 4 minutes there without a problem. Bip, 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 woo! Ding, 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 bing, 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 bing. Ooh, Detective Lucien. Ooh, Detective Lucien. Ooh, Detective Lucien. He's on the case. Yep, we're good. Okay. Mehrunes Dagon did a lot of damage here back in the Third Era. He opened a great gate, which was, frankly, not great. The champion and Martin Septim sorted it all out, but it was all very dramatic. Mehrunes Dagon did a lot of damage. A lot of damage. See what Smeagol finds. Okay. Mehrunes Dagon did a lot of damage here back in the Third Era. He opened a great gate, which was, frankly, not great. The champion and Martin Septim sorted it all out, but it was all very dramatic. Yep, we're good. And no, you're right, there's actually no need to save. Because the, Oh, actually, yes, there is. There absolutely is a need to save. Need to remember, because we haven't exported yet. When we come to export, there's no need to save. Here, we do need to save. So, yes, thank you for redeeming save. That's very good. I'm glad you like silly Molag Bal. I can look at doing that at the end, Ring Traeger, but I'm not going to break up the recording now for a song, if that's okay. I'll refund you your points if you leave before we're, if you have to go before we're ready to do it. But I have received the words. Let's steer clear of going too deep on Molag Bal lore in the chat, if that's okay. My mother spent time here with the Emperor and his forces during the Great War. It was their staging ground for the Battle of the Red Ring. She didn't have much time for sightseeing, but I think she liked it. One more time. My mother spent time here with the Emperor and his forces during the Great War. It was their staging ground for the Battle of the Red Ring. She didn't have much time for sightseeing, but I think she liked it. I've heard the Carvanes have a spectacular collection of Akaviri artifacts. I'm very jealous. I've heard the Carvanes have a spectacular collection of Akaviri artifacts. I'm very jealous. This place is magnificent. Knocks the proverbial spots off any of the Jarl's palaces back in Skyrim, don't you think? Are we supposed to be in here? I don't think we're supposed to be in here. Something smells divine. Like all my favourite foods smushed up into one delightful fragrance. Wonderful. Now this is excellent accommodation. When I settle down in a mansion of my own, it's definitely going to have a guest wing just like this. Gosh, you can practically smell the soldiering going on in here. Guards getting ready to guard. Good for them. So this is where the Count puts the people he doesn't like. Remind me not to get on his bad side. I wonder if there... that was very high. I wonder if there'll be cathedrals to you one day. I mean, if turning into a dragon is the main criteria, surely you're well on your way there. I wonder if there'll be cathedrals to you one day. I mean, if turning into a dragon is the main criteria, surely you're well on your way there. Martin sounds like he was a really lovely chap. What I'd give to have met him. Martin sounds like he was a really lovely chap. What I'd give to have met him. Even in my own beloved Cyrodiil, we get horrible Daedric things like this. Ugh. They call... very high. Lower that down. They call this lake Rieman's Mirror, which is a rather lovely name. But why is it Rieman's specifically? Did he claim it as his own personal lake? Seems a bit greedy. They call this lake Rieman's Mirror, which is a rather lovely name. But why is it Rieman's specifically? Did he claim it as his own personal lake? Seems a bit greedy. This lake is stunning. I can almost see my face in it. And just to be clear, that is not an invitation to push me in. What a lovely little creek. And look at the size of that Nirnroot. Magnificent. There we go. That's those lines done. Let's do this next one. Wear law as your armour, so the Aliads used to say. I've always liked that. Words I try to live by. In the caverns of lore, ugly and obscure, shines the gold of truth. It's an Aliad metaphor, but also most caverns we visit do tend to have gold in them, so I think they were onto something. The ancient Aliads mostly lived in Cyrodiil, but you can find their ruins all over Tamriel. All over Tamriel? All over Tamriel. Ooh. Tamriel. Why am I having a mind blank on the main place that everything is set? Tamriel. Right? Tamriel? Not Tamriel? Yeah, we say Tamriel. That's what I've said every time before. Tamriel. Rhymes with swell. Right? I'm not going mad? Tamriel? Tamsin Riel. to give her full name. No, okay, right. Tamriel. Let's go one more time. The ancient Aliads mostly lived in Cyrodiil, but you can find their ruins all over Tamriel. There are some in High Rock, Hammerfell, and even as far away as Black Marsh. Black Marsh or Black Marsh or Black Marsh? Why is this so difficult? This is too tricky. How do I words? What is English? There are some in I said High Rock as well. High Rock. Let's just do another take, and one of these will be good. The ancient Aliads mostly lived in Cyrodiil, but you can find their ruins all over Tamriel. There are some in High Rock, Hammerfell, and even as far away as Black Marsh. The ancient Aliads mostly lived in Cyrodiil, but you can find their ruins all over Tamriel. There are some in High Rock, Hammerfell, and even as far away as Black Marsh. One more. The ancient Aliads mostly lived in Cyrodiil, but you can find their ruins all over Tamriel. There are some in High Rock, Hammerfell, and even as far away as Black Marsh. Okay, that'll do. We're fine. We're fine. Move on. Move on. Move on before you go insane. Some scholars believe Cyrodiil used to be home to a race of birdmen who were enslaved by the Aliads and disappeared from history. I wonder if they wiped them out. Or perhaps they just flew away. Question time. Godzilla. I never voice acted with Kaiden's voice actor. So all of that was done entirely remotely and in entirely separate sessions. So we never had like a one-to-one back and forth recording session. So it's not really so much of an issue keeping a straight face or anything. I enjoyed recording that sort of exclamation of barbarians, but it's not the craziest thing I've had to say as Lucien, you know. So it was fun, but I didn't have any issues with that really. Hi Sakura, yes, we did manage to sort the ESL stuff. The plugin you recommended didn't do the job. It suffered from the same kind of problem we were having before. It wouldn't fix anything. But what we were able to do was turn it back into an ESP, then save it, then close it, then reopen it, and then compress the form IDs using SSE Edit's function for compressed form IDs for ESL, and then turn it back into an ESL again, and that did the job. So it was fine. No, I haven't rolled back my graphics driver. Should I do that? I mean, that's probably what's causing... It's the graphics driver that causes the render flickering. But yeah. No, I've never collabed with anyone. I'm the only person... I'm in the same building or anything, Godzilla. The only person who has anything to do with Skyrim, who I've ever met in person, is Colin from Colin Burton Plays. That's the only time I've ever met any person from this online world physically. I'd love to work with other voice actors and meet other modders and things. You know, if there were ever a modding convention, I'd love to. But no, I've never bumped into anyone who knows Lucien. I've never had a real world encounter from any of this stuff. Let's do another take of this. Some scholars believe Cyrodiil used to be home to a race of birdmen who were enslaved by the Aliads and disappeared from history. I wonder if they wiped them out. Or perhaps they just flew away. Okay, we've got another take there. Many of the Aliads ended up worshipping the Daedra, and even summoned whole armies of them to Tamriel to fight for their empire. Scary stuff. Sure, the Aliads were pretty uniformly evil, but they certainly had style. Sure, the aliens were pretty uniformly evil, but they certainly had style. The aliens kept a firm grip on Cyrodiil for well over 1,000 years, until Alessia's slave revolt in the early First Era. It was all downhill for them from there. A few hundred years later, they were all but gone. That's interesting, Cthulhu. Is anyone else having problems with the stream audio today? The aliens kept a firm grip on Cyrodiil for well over 1,000 years, until Alessia's slave revolt in the early First Era. It was all downhill for them from there. A few hundred years later, they were all but gone. It was the aliens' ancestors who built White Gold Tower, and they ruled from there until Pellinor Whitestrake kicked them out at the founding of the First Empire. What a chap. One more time. Hello, my name's Lucien Flavius. My name is Lucien Flavius. Hello. Golly, goodness me. Right, okay. It was the aliens' ancestors who built White Gold Tower, and they ruled from there until Pellinor Whitestrake kicked them out at the founding of the First Empire. What a chap. What a chap. What a chap. Legend says there are still wild elves hiding deep in Cyrodiil's forests. I used to go out searching for them when I was little. If they're anything like these chaps, I'm glad I never found any. Legend says there are still wild elves hiding deep in Cyrodiil's forests. I used to go out searching for them when I was little. If they're anything... Legend says there are still wild elves hiding deep in Cyrodiil's forests. I used to go out searching for them when I was little. If they're anything like these chaps, I'm glad I never found any. As nasty as they were, the aliens were masters of their craft. They used fallen fragments of Aetherius to store and channel magical energy, a trick that died out with their empire. What I'd give to know how to do that. Let's try and get it a bit louder. I feel like I'm a bit quiet today. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3, testing. My name is Lucien Flavius. Loud voice. Come on, let's project. Open up all the vocal bits. Okay. As nasty as they were, the aliens were masters of their craft. They used fallen fragments of Aetherius to store and channel magical energy, a trick that died out with their empire. What I'd give to know how to do that. Okay. Is there any player dialogue with this? What about combat? No. I think that's fine. Right, Cloud Ruler Temple. Okay, we need another vote, people. What do you think? Those of you who've played Oblivion, you probably know. Glenroy or Glenroy? Glenroy was one of Glenroy was one of Uriel Septim's bodyguards at the start of the Oblivion Crisis. Glenroy was one of Uriel Septim's bodyguards at the start of the Oblivion Crisis. Glenroy was one of the Uriel... Hello there, Glenroy. Hello there, Glenroy. Which one? Glenroy, Glenroy. Let's do a quick poll. Glenroy. 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 I guess it's a bit like Leroy. I'm doing a poll, by the way. Poll is now running. Please vote. For Glenroy or Glenroy? Glenroy, it's Glenroy. Really wants to be a friend with you. Glenroy. Oh, that's interesting, because people in the chat were saying... Oh, no, you're all saying Glenroy. Yes, Glenroy. Glenroy, Glenroy, Glenroy. It's gonna be Glenroy. It's got to 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 be Glenroy. Okay. Hello there, my name is Lucien Flavius. Glenroy was one of Uriel Septim's bodyguards at the start of the Oblivion Crisis. He was with him when he died. Went down fighting, so the records say. Glenroy once used this blade to protect his Dragonborn, and now I'm using it to protect my Dragonborn. Funny how things circle round. Glenroy once used this blade to protect his Dragonborn, and now I'm using it to protect my Dragonborn. Funny how things circle round. Ooh, I know what this is. This is Cloud Ruler Temple. Or what's left of it anyway. Very exciting! Let's have a look inside. Let's try one more take. Ooh, I know what this is. This is Cloud Ruler Temple. Or what's left of it anyway. Very exciting. Let's have a look inside. Ooh, gosh, disembodied voices issuing instructions. Ooh, gosh, disembodied voice issuing instructions the moment we're through the door. These ghosts don't waste any time. Ooh, gosh, disembodied voice issuing instructions the moment we're through the door. These ghosts don't waste any time. Let's find this Alina, and I'll make lots of historical notes on the way. Ooh, gosh, disembodied voice issuing instructions the moment we're through the door. These ghosts don't waste any time. Let's find this Alina, and I'll make lots of historical notes on the way. Poor Alina. Looks like things didn't end well for her. Poor Alina. Looks like things didn't end well for her. I think that must be the sword we're after. Fascinating. I'll have to sketch it later. Right, to the West Wing! I think that must be the sword we're after. Fascinating. I'll have to sketch it later. Right, to the West Wing! I feel awful for these people. Their spirits have been trapped here all this time, suffering like this. I hope we can help them. I feel awful for these people. Their spirits have been trapped here all this time, suffering like this. I hope we can help them. All right then. Swords, fire, fire, swords. Sounds easy enough. Let's save some souls. All right then. Swords, fire, fire. All right then. Swords, fire, fire, swords. Sounds easy enough. Let's save some souls. And, oh, hang on. And just like that, they're free. And just like that, they're free. Nope. And just like that, they're free. I hope they're in a better place now. Or at least at peace. And just like that, they're free. I hope they're in a better place now. Or at least at peace. Nice of him to let you keep the sword. I'd be very happy to look after it for you if you like. And just like that, they're free. I hope they're in a better place now. Or at least at peace. Nice of him to let you keep the sword. I'd be very happy to look after it for you if you like. Okay, and we're going to pause there. Answer some questions. So I first started working on Lucien a year before he first came out. And am I right in thinking he first came out in September 2019? Is that right? So I first started working... Oh no, first was September 2018. Original release date was September 2018, so I started working him in 2017. So I've actually been playing him for 5 years. That is scary. Long time. And he hasn't grown up very much. Has it ever been said what Lucien's biggest fear is? That's a really interesting question. I can't recall having ever said what Lucien's biggest fear is, but it's something I'd like to explore in his third personal quest. So give it a little bit and you'll find out when we get around to that. Because I know what it would be. And if you have a think about it, I think you can probably figure it out yourself as well. Oh, audio dropout. See you, Ninja. Happy modding. Test, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't worry, Ring Traeger, by the way. I'm not going to forget your song. I said we'd do it at the end. Test. Yep, I think we're good. This place is older than the Blades themselves. It was actually built by the Akaviri Dragon Guard at the founding of the Second Empire. So much history. This place is older than the Blades themselves. It was actually built by the Akaviri Dragon Guard at the founding of the Second Empire. So much history. Molag Bal nearly claimed this place in the Plain Meld. The whole temple was lifted off the ground by a dark anchor. Meridia made him put it back, but apparently it was rather close. Molag Bal nearly claimed this place in the Plain Meld. The whole temple was lifted off the ground by a dark anchor. Meridia made him put it back, but apparently it was rather close. Mine. Put it back, Molag Bal. No, it's mine. Put it back. Mine. Put it back. Drop it. Ooh, okay. That's how it went down. The ancient Blades wouldn't believe how quiet it is here now. Once it was home to a legion of soldiers. Now, silence. It was in this very hall that the champion and Martin Septim opened a gate to Mankar Cameron's paradise. Not as lovely as it sounds, so I'm told. After Martin Septim died, the Blades fortified themselves deep within this temple, waiting for a new Dragonborn to protect. Waiting for you, I suppose. You can thank the Thalmor for what happened to this place. They wrecked it during the Great War. Such a shame. You can thank the Thalmor for what happened to this place. They wrecked it during the Great War. Such a shame. Okay, I think that's it. So, we've done recording dialogue for the first 3 quests, which is great progress. I'm going to end the stream there, I think, so next week we'll finish the dialogue for Frostcrag Spire and the main quest. And then we should be ready for testing. That'll be very exciting. I'm going to save there because we had a dialogue edit, didn't we? My voice seems to be going a little bit today. We might need to I'll listen back to the dialogue. We might need to re-record some of it. It feels like it's sitting a bit in the back of my throat. It feels a bit muted. And I need to make sure it's consistent with the rest of the game. So we'll see. That might play in my favour, though, with regard to keeping the voice kind of under control and not too high-pitched and annoying. But we'll see. I'll have a think. Anyway, I won't be here on Saturday because I'm going home this weekend, which is really nice. So I'll put some pictures of Grey up on Twitter. But I won't be streaming on Saturday. So we'll be back on Monday for the next stream, where we'll be doing more multiplayer stuff. So we'll either be playing Mario Kart or we'll be playing Super Smash Brothers. Haven't decided yet. But if you haven't added me, do jump onto the Discord server and and react to the announcement about Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. And I can add you on Switch and we can play along next Monday. So that'll be fun. But yes, thank you all for watching. You've all been marvellous as ever. Now, before we go, we're going to do Ring Traeger's request, which is Ragnar the Red in German. Now, I can't lie. I can't imagine this possibly going well. But Ring Traeger has sent me the lyrics. So. But the lyrics Ring Traeger has sent me aren't even broken down sort of verse by verse. It's just a big wall of text. So I'm just going to quickly just go Ragnar the Red German on the internet, just so that it might get it down broken line by line, so we at least have a hope. Oh no, this is Hungarian. No, it's fine, Ring Traeger. No, okay, I can't find them online, so I'm going to go from Ring Traeger's thing. So this is a wall of text. I'm going to break it down the best I can, into Ragnar the Red. Kam Einstein Reck Ragnar de Rotter genannt, nach Weißlauf geritten von Rorikstedt stammt. Großreden schwang die Klinger gesucht, prachit von Kampfen und Brutaglug. Doch still war der Rotter kein Rot, mehr es sagt, a Schild mit Matilda berest vor ihn trat. Ihr prachit und ich lugt und trinkt all unser Mett, nur lass uns doch sehen, ob der Tod ich wohl steht. Und mit Lataun klärt voll, schnell Hieb auf Hieb, bis Schilbig ermette liegen blieb. Ragnars Schalder rollt. I've run out of lyrics. That's the end. Da 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 da. Okay. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And that was suitably delightful for all of you. We're going to end by raiding Skyblivion D, who's currently streaming some Skyblivion dev. So let's go ahead and start that raid. Do jump over. D does great streams with some great content. And you should definitely check out Skyblivion because it's a really cool project. Let's wish him a marvellous day. And yes, I shall see you all on Monday. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.